So his kid comes home from school and asks his dad if he's more Jewish or more black. His dad says to him, "Why's that, son?" And he said, "Well, there's this kid at school selling his bike for $40. And I don't know if I should try and get him down to $20 or just steal it."
That's a cracker. Not very politically correct, but cracker.
If it's funny, send it.
Send it.
Here we see the two fuckwits discussing political correctness, the avoidance of forms of expression or action that are perceived to exclude, marginalize, or insult groups of people who are socially disadvantaged or discriminated against. Marvelous. Simply marvelous.
Will your mouth still remember the taste of
these nuts? Got it!
So welcome in again for episode number 2 today with your host. I'm Matt, and alongside me is Gav. Today we are actually going to tackle the conversation around political correctness. This is probably where you'll see some divides between Gav and I in relation to what we believe and what we think. Obviously, we come from two polar opposites in relation to, I guess, our cultural backgrounds and things like that as well. This will, again... You heard it here first, folks. If you're just listening on Spotify, we have an islander next to us, and I'm as dusty as a sand on the beach, mate. So obviously not the beach in New Zealand because that's black sand, whereas Australian sand, it's white.
Well, this is off to a good start.
Off to a great start.
It stays.
There are a few topics we're going to branch into today, specifically around has political correctness gone too far? Some examples of that. Are we talking about, offensive words, over our lineage of our years, which isn't that great and vast of things, but we've seen probably the most change in relation to political correctness in the last 30 years, has really picked up in this, specifically in the last 10 to 15 years. But we can see what we used to watch as children is now classified as offensive, would never actually be on TV again for the next generations.
And in a lot of cases, that is a damn shame.
It's a damn shame because there are a lot of funny movies that... Yeah, look, there are, and again, this is probably where our differences of opinions come into play. Mine is probably more in relation to as long as it doesn't isolate a particular race. It's probably where I've changed over the last 10 years because growing up where we grew up, it was probably a little bit more in the normal of hearing this sort of stuff in the day-to-day. And especially in the time and the era that we grew up as well. But now that I work in a large multicultural organisation, I probably appreciate other people's opinions and stuff like that around this, I guess, racial vilification more so. Sexual orientation is probably another one that, draws a line a little bit for me. There are a lot of examples where I can just give and just go, well, you guys have taken it too far and, along those lines. But I guess to branch more onto this is more specific towards, I think, Gavin and what his experiences are. So, Gavin, what's your standpoint on political correctness as in totality?
Well, it's definitely gone way too far. But I think the further it goes, the worse it gets, and it's just ramping up really quickly. Like, I just had a quick read before. Something as simple as spotted dick, like the English dessert, the pudding dessert. They changed the name to Spotted Richard instead of Spotted Dick.
Fucking hell, really? Because dick is the word is offensive, or
Well, it says because the
it's very
UK council
specific
bosses.
of you, Gavin.
The UK council bosses feared the original name might cause offence. The Spotted Dick.
Feared. So no one
That was
actually
one of
took
my-
offence to it first. They
That was one of my
feared it.
favourite things to say to people that I work with. Like, their favourite dessert is Spotted Dick, man. Like,
I
now,
think you're referring to an STD more so than a...
yeah, well, me old mate like to chow down on a syphilis dick, man. But now I have to call it a syphilis Richard.
Yeah. Syphilis Richard.
But yeah, man, I just think it's gone way too far, too quick. Like, I totally understand that there is some cases, like you said, where you don't want to be segregating like a race or someone for their sexuality and stuff like that. But then, how far do you go to the point where like this person identifies as a fucking pot plant and like their sexual preference is like a sauce bottle and shit? Like, I don't understand like how my mind. I can't put myself in the shoes of that person because obviously I think that there is probably something not really working up here, like in their head properly. Because it doesn't make sense to me how it can be so bad so quickly, like the offensive side of it.
Well, offence is objective. See, what offends you doesn't offend me. And how can you make laws on that? Like, how can I make a law on what's offensive?
Exactly.
It's a very dangerous road to walk down. And one that I don't think we should walk down at all. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, there is hate speech.
It's like walking down a dark alley with dark people in there. Like,
yeah, and one of my favourite comedians, Steve Hughes, he's an Australian comedian that's based in the UK, actually has a very, very good, a very, very good skit on this. And he said, at what point does sticks and stones not break my bones become irrelevant?
That's right.
He talks about all of these different points, but, I could get offended by boy bands. You could be offended by anything, and where does that actually draw the line? But the biggest thing about this is, so what if you're offended? Nothing happens.
No. It's okay to be offended about some things, but you've got to understand that that's a part of life. Like, you don't have to, just because someone's offended you, you don't have to try and change something about them or something at all. Like, how about you just not have anything to do with that person or that group of people? Like, if it offends you, walk away from it. Don't try to change it and stop it. Like, what else is there? Like, Black Sheep. Like, I don't know.
The favourite take on a nursery rhyme.
I know. I don't know which dark-skinned person obviously got offended by Black Sheep, but that doesn't even enter my head. Like,
No, because black wool.
I've told you before. Like I've told you before, one of my mates calls me poo skin because of the colour of my skin. I do not give a fuck. I know that me and him are mates. We can have beers together, and I'll call him a redneck and stuff like that, and he'll call me poo skin. It doesn't offend me, man. Like, growing up, I probably took racism a little more harshly, but then nothing anyone says really holds any weight like that. I don't take offense to the next level. Like, I'm just like, oh, whatever. You're a dick.
So,
but you can be a dick over there. Like,
you're a dick, but as long as you're away from me, be a dick away from me.
Exactly. Yeah. Be the dick over there away from me. That's all right.
So I guess like that's the difference as well. There's intent.
Oh yeah,
So
malice.
if I intend to be hurtful or direct or choose my words to inflict damage or emotional damage. If I do that on a person, then that's intend to offend.
Yeah,
if I'm having a joke, exactly. If I'm having a joke with someone, there's no malice behind it. It might be an offensive joke, and for those that know me, my humor is incredibly dark, to the point where I'm actually banned for making jokes at a family. Yeah, can't say that.
Pick a different word, man. Pick a different word.
It is in my sense of humor is very twisted.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll pick another one. That word doesn't work either, man.
I don't. What else is there?
That's all right. Well, this is what it's going to come to, man. Soon you won't be able to say a single fucking thing.
Yeah, and I guess like in that side of things, where with what you grew up with that intent behind words. You said you can't become offended now.
I think it was a lot of it was more ignorance, like because these people didn't actually understand what they were even talking about for a start. But it's even then when they now if knowing what I know, if I could grow up again and go through it all again, it my whole life would be different again. Like. It's just I don't I don't know what it is when it got switched off or whatever it is, but I don't have that I'm offended thing in me anymore.
I don't actually know if like for example what was it, Noddy, and when he slept in the same bed as Big Ears, someone assumed homosexuality with that, and that's why that cancelled the show.
The problem.
Where does someone look at a show and sit there and go, "Hang on, that's not okay. My kids are watching this." And P.S. Your kids are 4, 5, 3, fucking 2 years old.
What fucking kid's gonna be like? Noddy's sucking off Big Ears. This is. I can't watch this. Noddy just sucked off Big Ears when they panned camera away. Who?
But at what point in history did we start going down this way as well? Like, is there a set point where you've just said, okay, things have just gone fucked up?
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see the date and the first thing that happened to set the wheels in motion. What it was.
Well, what about for you? What was the first thing in what was that wheels in motion moment for you that said political correctness has now gone too far?
Fuck, man, I honestly could not even remember. Like this has been grinding my fucking gears for a long time, dude.
It has.
But it's more for me. It's probably more so. A lot of it is when they will change the name of something because of color, like Bar Black Sheep, like
Coon cheese.
Coon cheese. Well, that's not color, but that's another word. But again, it's been coon cheese forever.
Been coon cheese before it was actually probably a derogatory term.
Well, and there you go. Like, so they've changed this fucking name and. Like, I'm pretty certain that a lot of the Aboriginals who copped the name in a derogatory way, they probably don't even give a fuck about this cheese, to be honest. And then you change it to Cheers, and then you've got just all you're doing is just making other people fucking angry.
When I actually saw Cheers the cheese, and just on this, I didn't actually know that that's the cheese that I was buying. It was actually, I guess, a brand identity moment for me that I didn't actually know that this was the subsequent change from Coon.
Really?
Yeah.
The fuck
like,
were
what the
you
fuck
doing?
is- Well, I don't know. I just walked in. I'm like, the fuck is Cheers cheese?
This motherfucker living under a rock.
No. I actually followed the news stories with it and everything like that. I probably wasn't paying that much attention to the actual name that they selected, but it was only very recently that I went cheese shopping and I just had to go and get cheese, and I was like, what the fuck is cheese?
Look, I was out. I was going to get a nice brie, a nice Gouda, and I needed to get some Coon cheese. I couldn't find any Coon cheese.
Exactly.
All that was on the shelf was this fucking Cheers shit, and I'm pretty sure it's like a cheap knockoff of Coon.
For 100 years, this is what the cheese has been called.
Yeah.
So do you think, like, for example, if someone took offense to the word Nike or Nike.
I already have, because if you change the K to a G, it becomes Niggy. So I am offended.
But if they change that,
or if they have
to,
they change it,
if that tick then and the name changes, then it hasn't got that brand identity that it had as well.
That's right. It's wrecked forever.
So with political correctness, one of the things that I've ummed it down to is you've got the political left and you've got the political right.
Yep.
Which one do you sit under?
Political middle.
So you fluctuate between the two.
I think it's just the same with everything, man. And a lot of people wouldn't even understand. They might think that they're political left, but they would have some views that would meet up with the political right and vice versa, man. I just think I'm in none of that fucking bullshit. I'm not left, right, or anything. I'm just in the fucking middle, being who I am. Like,
I fear that the political left. So the reason that I pose this question is the left and the right have been defined as two different groups. So the right, someone that says, well, you need to fix your problems. So you look at your own backyard, fix that in order to be able to help anyone else. Whereas the political left is, well, I think we need to tackle the bigger issues. So this is the political left is like where you sit with climate change and things like that. But hang on, you might go to a climate change meeting and then jump on a plane and fly 20 hours across the sea. So the political left are going, well, I'm okay. Society needs to fix this. Or the rest of the world needs to fix this. So they take on the bigger issues, whereas these guys in the right sit there and go, well, I look after myself. I'm doing the right thing, or I need to fix this in my own backyard.
But you can do both of those things in life. You realise this.
Correct. Well, technically, like for the climate change, if I'm sitting in the right and I fix mine, and everyone on the right does their own bit to help with climate change, that's generally where I'm going to see I believe you'll see an impact.
Yep.
I think if you sit on the left and you're going, well, it's everyone else's problem, but I'm just advocating the idea. That's what I see. I see a lot of talk from the left and no real action. So you Greta Thunberg and all of that sit on your left.
How dare you?
It's just a name that everyone knows, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I dare.
I do know Greta Thunberg just a little bit more than you know Yao Ming, but anyway.
Hey, at least I got the fucking name right this week.
Yeah? And we're gonna just get back to that. It wasn't even Pol Pot. What was his name again? My mate sent it to me. Yeah, so I do have to apologise. We were both way off the fucking mark.
We did start the episode warning people that we are uneducated fools.
and this is
still
just the fucking
beginning. we are still uneducated fools.
That is
the only
about
difference is
one thing we're certain of. What is this motherfucker's name? Chairman Mao. That's who it was. So it wasn't Pol Pot, and it certainly wasn't Yao Ming because he was getting buckets in China, but it was Chairman Mao.
He was just dunking on everyone. He was just dunking.
So that was the one at Tiananmen Square.
He's the one that killed 27 or 22 or something million of his own people.
All right, but that's just clarifying our fuck up from last week. So let's get back.
Well, we had a
on
lot
track
of fuck
again.
ups from last week, but last month.
Last month. That's
Yeah.
right. But, you know,
We
what I mean.
released last week. We're filming again. You'll see this in a month. That's when we'll address this.
Solid copy.
Solid copy.
So anyway, back to this, to color. So yeah, Bar Black Sheep is now Bar Rainbow Sheep, I do believe. So yeah, my issue is more with all the racism side of it, and the fact that the color, they're taking color names, words with color, and what is another one that I saw?
There are a lot larger topics in relation to political correctness as well.
Oh, yes.
There are a lot that we're not going to touch on because it's probably too relevant.
I'm starting simple, man.
You're starting simple, but there are, there's so many different avenues down to political correctness. It's such a big umbrella. I think what we actually are looking at are our own examples and our own thoughts in relation to this as well. You know, for Gavin and even myself, like very, very different because what we've experienced.
That's right.
And Gavin's actually had some of this experiences growing up, and
racism's still around today. Don't worry about that stuff. Like,
so I think some of the biggest things, like, we grew up on our family, like, each generation before us wants better for their kids. I think that's a given. When you have kids, you want a better life for them than potentially you had. I think this is actually where political correctness comes from in a roundabout way, because you look at from the 1900s where we had World War I, World War II, then we go into the Great Depression. Then after the Great Depression, we had like the is it baby boomers? Their generation produced us, or just us. And then, so they're like, well, we had it tough because our parents went through the Great Depression and stuff like that. So they want a better life for us. And then we come around and we're like, well, we had it reasonably tough. We had to work young, we worked hard, all those sort of things. And then now I've got kids and, you know, we just do whatever we can to keep them happy and all of that side of things. And I think this is where political correctness comes from, is because we keep watering shit down. Now at school, there is no first, second, or third when you run a race in fucking primary school.
Fucking participation. So
everyone gets a ribbon.
You're teaching that fucking kid that, all right.
So what's your standpoint on participation awards versus winning and losing, Gavin?
Well, I'm sorry, but you don't fucking deserve a ribbon if you come last. That's never going to teach you. What you get is try, work harder, become better, try again. What you're going to fucking understand is, motherfucker was better than you. That's why he gets a ribbon for coming first. You can strive to be better to beat them next time. What you're doing now is you're fucking taking away the reward for hard work, so people aren't going to work. They're going to just blow in and be like, I'm just going to smoke a fucking huge doobie and then just crawl this race because I know I'm getting a fucking participation fucking ribbon for this shit. So that's what you're doing. People
and
don't give a fuck.
The whole reason they did it was so kids didn't feel bad for losing.
But you have to feel bad for losing. That's what gives you the drive to fucking win next time. You need competition.
Practice.
Like, you need fierce rivalry, man. Like, I know that shit. I grew up with an older brother, and he was just a freak at everything that he did. So
I'm pretty sure you were pretty good at the things you did as well.
I had to work hard to be remotely close to his skill level in a lot of things. But, you know, I did. Now I'm fucking better than him.
I remember watching him in footy when he jumped, and it just looked like he just froze in midair.
Yeah.
It just
And
looked like he'd just stay there for like 3-4 seconds, grab the ball, and then off he goes.
So when do we have to stop saying white man can't jump?
Yeah. Well, that movie, for the millennials and that out there, that movie probably won't come on air ever again because of political correctness too. So I'm sorry if you haven't seen it. You probably never will. You may rent it on Amazon. I don't know.
Fucking good movie though.
But it is, and that's what I'm saying. Some of the best movies that I've seen: Animal House with John Belushi, Blazing Saddles. All of these, even probably like, what's the one that
Debbie
South Park?
Debbie Does Dallas.
Debbie Does Dallas, the Blue movie.
Oh shit! Sorry, we're getting off track again.
We're getting off track. But these are the sort of things that, because of political correctness, you'll never actually get to experience. And some of these movies were the best movies of my life. I laughed. I love toilet humor. I love stupid humor. And
you
I
just
can
like
understand.
to laugh, dude.
I love to laugh.
You're no different to everyone else. You love to laugh. The thing is, some people's humor intersects with some people's feelings.
Yeah.
And that is always going to be a problem. Like you're not going to fix that by changing fucking Bar black sheep to Bar rainbow sheep.
Mm-hmm. So back to the participation awards.
Yep.
You were better at throwing than me.
You fucking lost, bro.
I was better at jumping than you.
Yeah, 100%. So you play to your strengths, man. You don't
Correct.
fucking... All right, I got broken fucking legs. I'm not going to go and do triple jump, am I? No.
Well, you could. If you fucking look like a mess.
I look like a fucking... fucking thing of Colgate with the end squeezed out of it.
I guess the point of the matter is, like, we were quite a sports-driven community where we grew up.
There's fuck all else to do.
Exactly. But we also worked very hard at those sports. When you failed, you got back up, you tried harder.
That's
and
right.
that's, I think, the thing that we've lost with participation only is when you lose, it doesn't feel good. But you have to lose to know what winning feels like. There are such things as sore losers, and there are such things as sore winners. If you don't know how to do either, then
Go and sit in the fucking corner.
Then how are you going to learn? And we got taught this from fucking reception at school of what it felt like to win, what it felt like to lose. I feel like that sculpted us into the real world. So when, for example, our kids go for jobs and they get knocked back, that's their first experience of loss.
Yeah. And that's fucking ridiculous, man. You're not
How am I going to coach for that?
You're not preparing them for the real fucking world. You're setting up this fucking bullshit. So 20 of these kids are going to go for a job interview, and this bloke's going to be like, I'm going to give you all the participation fucking little gift basket. You can take it home. It's got fucking chai latte fucking tea and shit in it. Like, no. They need to learn. If you lose, you get fuck all.
100%. So what do
and
you do?
You take that loss, and then you go home, you work harder, and you fucking try again.
That's right. And learning this at 15, 16 is too late in life, I feel.
That's right. You got to learn that shit early.
From day one.
Keep getting knocked down, keep getting back up.
Exactly. And I think this is exactly where political correctness has fucked each and every generation, but specifically the last 5 to 10 years.
I've never thought about it in this fucking aspect, man. So you bringing this up for me has been good, because now I'm pissed about this shit.
I was hugely pissed around participation. I was hugely pissed because that's where we were lucky. Club footy, things like that. You go out and you play games. Now in school sports, up until year 7, they don't even keep track of the score. The kids do in their own head, but they don't record a score down.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. You got 30 fucking kids and there's 30 different scores.
Correct. Correct, because they don't want anyone to feel like they won or lost. Yeah, that's where I think club sports are really important, because you go away, you play another team, there is a winner and there is a loser. Feel shit losing. Go back to the change rooms. When you get onto the fucking training track next week, you train harder. You train on the things that you went shit at. You get better, and then you win.
The other thing is, those fucking shit times make you appreciate the good times. So if you don't have them, you won't understand the good times as well as you need to, or as well as you should, man. Like, so losing goes hand in hand with winning. How fucking that's a shit one, man. Participation, you can shove that up your ass.
There ain't no participation in relation to this conversation.
Mm-mm.
But
man,
it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I can only ever see it getting worse. Like, at the end of the day, what are they going to do next? Just pull sports entirely? Even in the education system and stuff like that, do they grade kids in primary school now the way that they used to grade them? I don't actually know. Like, I see my kids' report cards and all that sort of stuff, but it's more around, are they engaged in class and how do they communicate with other people and stuff like that. Do you know what really grinds my gears? When you kids get into year 7, year 8, year 9 and all that sort of stuff, they start taking on social issues.
Yeah.
They have to do projects around social issues.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think social issues should be a standpoint or a curriculum in our schools, because that's an opinion of one highly motivated group of individuals, whether it be equality in workplace, whether it be, even very recently with the Black Lives Matter movement. My kids had to talk about that and do presentations on that and things like that.
Really?
Yeah. All of these sort of very specific and targeted issues that I don't think that they need to be a part of, because when I saw in the Black Lives Matters movements, half the rioters, actually majority of the rioters weren't even of African American descent.
No, it's just a bunch of people needing an excuse to steal shit.
Yeah, but it was their opinion that the African Americans were being subjugated against, or I don't actually know, like that they were being, targeted and all that sort of stuff. It probably is. I'm not American. I've never been there. I never actually know. But that's like me fighting your battle for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, my opinion on the matter may be supporting the fact that, yeah, they've had a shit run, that racism and all that's real, but to then segregate off an entire part of the city, build a no police area and all that sort of shit was just wrong. That's
just fucking stupid. Like, they're white knights. These people are like righteous, self-righteous white knights. Like, am I allowed to say white knights, or do I have to say like a coloured knight? I can't say coloured knight either. But they're just like,
White's
look at
colour.
me, I'm fighting for the rights of these people who are being oppressed. Like, most of them probably don't even give a fuck. And like I said, these people just wanted an excuse to loot and riot. They're fucking stealing shit, setting shit on fire. They didn't give a fuck about the rights of people.
It's like that kid that just got off from murder from the US. How he went and
dropping beers.
Good. Enjoy them.
That's the first one I've opened with my hands for a very long time.
His teeth are sore from opening too many.
It just hurt my hand, though.
I still use the forearm to open my beers.
I can't do that, mate.
I can't do my teeth.
I'll bloody cut myself. I'll cut myself with my sensitive skin. My sensitive poo-coloured skin. Oh, that's right. I've got fried chicken.
No.
Are we allowed to talk about those sorts of stereotypes? The fact that I love fried chicken.
Doesn't
I love
matter
watermelon. I love
have
grape
fried
drink.
chicken.
Oh, he's got his all plated up, ready to go. Look at this guy. Where's the bottle of sauce?
Bottle of sauce comes in here. We
Hey.
have Bunster's Black Label Hot Sauce 16 out of 10. It says, quite underneath it, may cause anal leakage.
Oh, shit.
I don't know how I feel about the anal leakage part, but...
He's currently got a $10,000 gaming chair. There's a toilet built into the bottom of his chair.
I'm not worried about the immediate leakage. It's more about, like, the other source we've got is called shit the bed. We felt that wasn't hot enough. So we've gone to anal leakage instead of shit in the bed. So I don't know if I wanted to shit the bed or I prefer anal leakage in the bed. Either which way. It's going to be a bad time.
Good.
All right, so
I can say it is. This one is reasonably hot. It did burn the shit out of my tongue before. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for a retaining wall or some landscaping work, give Jason a call at Amos Landscaping. Solid work, quality bloke. And if you mention that I referred you, he'll probably charge you triple. Jason from Amos Landscaping. Give him a call.
He'll probably charge you triple. What a fucking incentive that is. Jason's going to sit there going, fuck. So I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of hot sauce and we're going to have a little bit of question time while we're burning our faces off. I am not looking for
I've already taken the liberty of drizzling some on this particular wicked wing. And I know this sauce is fucking hot, but I'm staring at this chicken and my mouth's still watering.
I put way too much on.
Fuck, I hate you, Colonel Sanders. Oh,
like,
man.
if this makes any...
You see that?
Yeah, good. We're even then.
Yeah, dude.
So this segment is what we're going to call some fast fire questions by burning the fuck up. Alright, first one down.
I'm ready.
A few moments later.
Oh, don't lick your lips. Don't lick your lips. Okay. So my first question to you, Gav, is political correctness just a power move for those people that feel like they don't have a voice?
I believe so. Yep. Ooh.
The burn is real on that, isn't it?
It is. Currently sliding down my esophagus.
As I mentioned before, may cause anal leakage.
Oh. I'm more worried about my tongue.
Yeah, the tongue's on fire. Roof of my mouth. And also just the back of the throat. Just that little bit. But more so in around the gums and tongue.
Wow. Looks like ooh. Need a participation ribbon, man.
It's a great point on the previous conversation.
I want to have a sip of my beer just because I want to sip of my beer.
Yeah, nothing to do with the hotness of this.
Oh, dude.
It doesn't help anyway, because beer is non-conducive to supporting yourself with hotness. So take a sip, by all means.
My nose is running.
You didn't answer my question. You said yes.
So, I believe it is. I believe it is. But also, they obviously can play on it and abuse it, like you were saying before. What was the example you mentioned before?
The power moves. So the example that I mentioned before is that the world moves as fast as the world's slowest man or person. So therefore, you might be ahead of your field and everything, but unfortunately, we can only move as fast as the slowest person.
Can you say slowest person? It's like
Yeah, I wasn't labeling. The heat in this, just for your viewers at home, is on a scale probably of that of getting one of those. Well, it's probably not as bad, but probably getting when you cook a Weber or a charcoal barbecue, just grabbing one of those coals and putting it on your tongue. It's probably the equivalence of what we're dealing with at the moment. The tongue just feels like it's on fire. But I can talk.
I somehow got some on the outside of my mouth, and the corner of my mouth is burning in my moustache part.
Yeah, that's why I said don't lick your lips, don't lick your lips. It sucks when it's on the lips. Okay, so do you think it's more about equality or equity of outcome is political correctness as a general thing?
I think they've tried to reach equality, but I think they've fucked it up on a grander scale, and now there's no going back.
Yep.
So we're just going deeper and deeper. Because now we found a problem with black sheep. They're just going to constantly find things that are offensive to. It might only be offensive to one person, but they're going to try and change it to cater to that one person. Here's one for you. This is going to upset some people. The word retarded. Retarded. So, I'm a mechanic. In regards to ignition timing, you can advance or retard ignition timing.
Yep.
So, other mechanics as well, the vehicle's ignition timing was retarded. So, what happens when the word retarded becomes untouchable?
I just have to put that in there a second time.
Untouchable. What happens then? Like, the vehicle's ignition timing was what? A little bit before.
Yeah, prior then.
Yeah.
Prior then equal.
It's stupid, man. Like, I'm not going to go out, and there might be an intellectually challenged person. I'm not going to go out of my way to go and just fucking slander the shit out of them using the word retarded. But there are instances where the word is used and it's not in a derogatory meaning. Or there's no malice intent.
Again, there's no intent, there's no malice, there's no pointing a finger at someone.
No.
And saying this is wrong, you can't say that.
So they'll fucking change that and we'll have to say something like the ignition timing of the vehicle was spotted Richard because, like, it's just cooked. It's just cooked.
Do you think that race, sexual orientation, and gender are the three biggest trumps of PC today?
Yes. I would agree with that, but like I said, I don't get the racism one so much. Like if I was standing here and you had a member of the Ku Klux Klan standing there next to me, I understand that he's entitled to his opinion, no matter how much it doesn't agree with me or how shit I might think it is. He's still entitled to that opinion. As long as obviously it doesn't become violent. At the end of the day, I can still go to the bottle and buy a 6-pack of beer. I can still go and buy darts. His opinion doesn't affect my life. Like, me being offended won't affect his opinion. So it's Like that. That's why I can't understand the political correctness with the whole racism thing. Like, as for the sexuality and stuff like that, I guess understand that for a long time people were
Subjugated against.
yeah, and like, but that was by ignorant people.
Yeah.
So I would say to end that, like, to answer that question, yeah, those would be the biggest three. I would believe so anyway.
I agree, and when you look at the likes of Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, all of these avid speakers on the probably more so on towards the political right, because generally the political left are the ones that are talking about the bigger topics of transgender pronouns and racism and sexual orientation and all those sort of different ones. They're all the ones that they're generally having the conversation with. I actually haven't, I've seen, quite a few bits on those, try and change my mind, or you give me, and the people sit down and they're like, he'll have a question like, so-and-so, Black Lives Matter, try and change my mind, or something like that.
Yep.
I find that they're really good to watch, to get. And I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist because we haven't touched on that episode yet, but do your own research.
Oh, we will.
We will touch on that. We will touch on that.
Yes, conspiracy.
Coming episodes. But I think the emphasis of do your own research. Like, I listened to Jordan Peterson, and when we talked into equality, whilst equality is the goal, equality of outcome seems to be more fitting, because when you give people a choice, their choice is their own. And, ultimately, if you, for example, in mechanics, you might have 100 males and maybe 2 or 3 females apply. It doesn't mean that the 3 females should get the jobs just before any of the others. But the equality of outcome would be that to have females in that mechanic environment.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's where, even political correctness, when we look at even the social agenda of equality versus equity, I think some really good conversations that we could have at another point as well. But I think it's time for another chicken wing.
Copy that.
I don't really want to.
Yes, you do. My nose is still running from the last one. My fucking brain is leaking fluid out.
Ain't no thing like a chicken wing. I want to find one with a decent amount of sauce, because now it's all soaked in. Let's go to this bad boy. Oh, you re-pouring?
Yeah, well, like I said,
poured over all 6.
I was just gonna pour this whole lot into the fucking box, but I decided against that. So we've got ourselves another large helping of sauce here. Man, my fucking nose is still leaking.
A few moments later.
But so this again ties it back to political correctness, as well as opinions are just that.
That's right.
Opinions are like bumholes. Everyone's got one and they all smell.
And some are bigger than others, and some are fucked up, and some fucking don't work, and
that's the thing. I relish the thought of the lawmakers of any country to try and bring in a way to censor people's vocabulary on what they can and can't say. So I saw, for example, in relation to in the United Kingdom, with pronouns actually becoming a legal term to be enforced in the country.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
That's a whole different argument, but at the end of the day, to legally enforce someone's choice to choose and to choose what they want to be known as, and then to call them that, I can see the shine off of your head.
It's in my eye.
Oh, no. Don't pee. Don't touch any orifice of your body is the first rule of Chili's.
I've already put my fingers in my ass.
That's where the anal leakage comes from.
Oh, my eye. It's in my eye.
This is going on the edits page, I hope you know.
Put it in the podcast. I don't even give a fuck.
I think we might have to cut some of this out.
All right.
No, I'm just going to wait for you to get your eye back so you can actually look at the camera. Do you want to go flush it or?
Nah, it'll flush itself, man.
With the tears of your unhappiness.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That is so fucking enjoyable. That's like something that I feel like I should do every day. Oh.
So where will political correctness end, do you think?
When the human race ceases to exist, man.
So you think we're going to get to a point where you actually would have a list of words you can say?
Probably.
Because, like, you know how we're getting gender-neutral toys because a girl can play with boys' toys and a boy can play with girls' toys?
Yep.
And they shouldn't be gender-specific.
No, they should still... I still believe they should be gender-specific, but it shouldn't matter if the fucking boy's playing with girls' toys.
Correct. There should
It's
be no
still
label
girls-
on whether or not they want to play with them, but there should still be girls' toys and boys' toys.
That's right. It's a girl's toy, but the boy's playing with it. Who gives a fuck? It's not...
Yeah.
It's a fucking gender-neutral fucking toy. It's a doll that doesn't have a penis or a fucking vagina. It dresses in half a dress and half a shirt and... No. It's a fucking girl's toy, and the boy wanted to play with it. Let the fucking boy play with it.
Exactly.
It's just... I nearly said it's almost as retarded as the ignition timing on the Ford Laser.
Or if I remember my old Holden correctly, I actually had to retard my timing to get a good spark.
Oh, well, that's right. To make it run better.
To get the better, because you want it to ignite just before TDC.
Well, in some cases, yes, you do.
Some cases you want to advance your timing, so then it fires just after TDC. For those out there that are not mechanically minded, you just got fucking schooled.
You can keep all that shit, man.
The stoichiometric ratio of a car is 13.6 particles of air to 1 particle of fuel. Fucking Google it.
Oh, I'm just... still...
Processing that?
How the fuck is that in... Never mind.
I'm glad this is recording this part.
Fucking good. Send it.
How is that?
The fucking
Never
eye...
mind.
The eye thing.
I think I can live with. One thing about Chili's is do not go for a piss without washing your hands. You will fucking regret it.
I made that mistake with that Da Bomb sauce, but in saying that, I didn't actually go and take a piss. I just
Had a scratch.
scratched the itch through my shorts, man. Like, I was wearing my fucking shorts. I didn't go skin-on-skin contact.
I know, I've had skin-on-skin contact, and trust me, I was standing there with my shorts open, fucking fanning air down to my bloody old fella, who was on fire at that time.
Yeah, well, so when I scratched through the shorts, like I said,
will
so
learn.
there was fucking cloth in the middle. It still somehow got through the fucking cotton and set my world on fire. It was like Satan had a flaming hand of lava and grabbed my penis. Fuck that, man. Never again. I can't believe I just scratched my fucking eye before. Like, I'm gonna have to start wearing gloves with this shit, dude. It needs to come.
You just need to be more conscious.
Oh yeah, because this is something I do all the time. Is eat this terribly fucking hot sauce. Gives me indigestion too.
Mm-hmm. It's your
Why am I
natural
having-
body reaction to try and fight against it.
Why the fuck am I having another one?
I think mine don't have enough sauce on them anymore. They soaked in.
I have been putting a bit of sauce on this shit, man. Like,
NGL. Not gonna lie.
I
Oh, that's not good.
This is so fucked. Can't fucking wait to get home and torture myself with hot sauce.
I can't believe, so, for those out there, Gavin drove 1 hour to my house with KFC in Chew to drop me some wicked wings and to pick up some hot sauce so we could drive home and do this. I bet you he's fucking regretting that move now, isn't he?
This shit excites me.
It's just fucking soaking.
This sauce does not excite me. But this, like I said, we're going to have to step it up next time and get a hotter one.
Says that with his one eye.
Mm-hmm.
A few moments later.
So you reckon political correctness will never, it will get to the end of humanity? It's just going to get worse and worse and worse?
It has to.
Do you reckon there'll be a point where people will just be happy?
Nah. Not at all. People can't just be happy. That's why we're here.
I find that it's you can quote air quotes around this, but the woke are the ones that are doing this. So what I'm seeing at the moment is it's normally between the ages of 18 to 25. These are the people that have and take offense to anything and everything.
Yep.
Anything over 30 to 50, they're just like, what the fuck? And anyone over 50 is so set in their ways, they're just like, this is it. And that's the thing. So, a 50-year-old man could walk up to you and call you poo skin, but mean it in a derogatory term, but mean that without intent or malice. But that's just because that's what he's known. Is that right? Are the 50-year-old plus that have gone through the Korean War, or even World War II, Vietnam War, and you know how they use derogatory terms to label those particular countries or citizens of those countries?
Yep.
Do they have a right to still then use that in today, not in today's society? In your opinion, do they still have the right to have those feelings? Or is a 15 to 18 or 20-year-old going to tell me I'm not allowed to say that because you're not moving with the times?
Well, you're a product of your environment. A lot of these people went to war.
I saw some shit.
Exactly. And they're always, like I said, you're a product of your environment. They've gone to war. War obviously isn't a nice place where people are
treated fairly well.
Open to the other side's opinion, I guess you'd say. Mutually open and understanding of the other side. No, so, and then, but that's it. They were there, and then that's what they saw. They lived that, and they come back, and you're asking them to change something that's been so deeply ingrained into them because it offends you. Fuck no. He can go and do that over there. I couldn't give a fuck. If it offends me or if it hits a nerve with me, I'll just fucking go away from the situation, man. I'm not going to be like, I need you to change your fucking everything about you, the way you speak, all your friends that speak the same. I want you all to change everything because I'm offended. No.
And this brings me to the point in relation to excuse me. This brings me to the point in relation to offense is subjective.
Yep.
It's individual. What offends you doesn't offend me.
Yep.
And nothing happens if you're offended. So what if you're offended?
If someone's going to be offended by me offending on myself,
That's offensive.
Good fucking luck to you.
But you know what I mean? Like, at what point I can still take offense to something that you say about yourself. I can still be offended. The fact that you think that this is your pattern of thought. And even
That's
if it's
right.
about yourself, I can still be offended.
Fuck, of course. And then that's
That's
where
just
it comes
fucking
back to-
lunacy.
That's where it comes back to the whole thing where I'm like, good, go and be offended over there.
Yeah.
I don't give a
But
fuck.
even like what you, and I've had this conversation with you before and off air and all that sort of stuff, and you use that Ku Klux Klan member as an example, you would still have a conversation with that guy,
100%.
regardless of his beliefs,
100%.
even if it was to challenge the norm.
100%.
Because, why?
Because at the end of the day, it's an opinion. I'm interested in people's opinions. And like I said, whether I agree with them, disagree with them, whatever, I'm interested in the fact that I understand that other people have their own opinions and everyone's mind works differently. And I'm open to learning, I guess, how other people perceive different situations and things like that. So I couldn't give a fuck if it was Hitler himself. If I was able to sit down and talk to him and pick his brain, I would, 100% on things that probably aren't even, that might not even be to do with race. Like, I might like to understand. So the bloke who is so racist towards me or another group of people or whatever, I might like to understand how his mindset might be on something like COVID or anything. Like,
Pick your topic.
just, yeah, because at the end of the day, he might be racist towards me or something else, but there might be 99 other things out of 100 that we agree on. I like to see those sorts of things. So I couldn't care. But like I said, as long as it doesn't get to violence, words can't fucking hurt you.
Sticks and stones
That's right.
will never break anyone's bones.
Words cannot hurt you.
Exactly.
That comes back to the other thing is that a lot of this, I think, is probably stems from mental health too. Like, people's mindset isn't strong enough.
As always, these opinions are entirely ours alone, but we'd love to hear your feedback. If you're listening to us on Spotify, we actually have this on YouTube as well, so follow the two Chameleons on YouTube. There you'll be able to drop a comment. Like and subscribe as always. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to listen to us in your car, then please jump over to Spotify. We have that there as well. We're also on TikTok. We've got Instagram, and soon we're going to have a Facebook page as well. Love the support and the feedback that we've received from episode 1, so we wanted to quickly shout out those that have listened, that have taken the time out of their day to actually provide some feedback to us. We're only going to get better. This is the start of an adventure for us, and we appreciate you all dearly.
Big love.
Big love, big love. So, as always, Gavin and Matt signing out. Be good to yourself and each other.